the state of the nation.
Tell me, what comes to your mind when someone says Zimbabwe tourism? I bet the first thing that came to mind was this, the Victoria Falls. Another question, what comes to mind when I say the word tourist? Admit it, you're thinking about someone from Europe, maybe in their khaki safari clothes or with a camera. These are two images we have of Zimbabwean tourism. One, Vic Falls is what we think about when we talk about our tourism industry. And two, the tourist must always be some white European visitor. Today, we want to talk about this. It is time to challenge how we have always looked at tourism. Yes, we have our pride for having Mosia Tunya, the Victoria Falls. We welcome tourists from around the world, but we can do more. We have done much more. First, why is tourism important to Zimbabwe? Here are the numbers, 4.5%. Tourism accounts for 4.5% of Zimbabwe's GDP, 99,141. That's the number of people that were directly employed in tourism in 2018. So there's no doubt that this industry is important to the economy today and into the future. It is one of the biggest foreign currency earners in the country, but the last few years have taught us quite a lesson. Let's look back. 2018, tourist arrivals grew to 2.6 million visitors. There was a lot of optimism. The country earned just over $1 billion. 2019 saw a drop in arrivals to 2.3 million due to negative perceptions. This was after the riots of January 2019. 2020 and 21 were bad for tourism due to the COVID pandemic. 2020 was virtually a write-off for the industry. When COVID-19 happened, the whole country came to a standstill. Airlines stopped flying, tourists stopped traveling, hotels started thinking about closing down. The country lost as much as $1 billion in potential revenue because nobody was traveling. The government had to introduce a bailout package to keep our hotels open and to protect jobs. What were the lessons? Well, here is what two big hotel groups are telling us. Rainbow Tourism Group says this about how business was in 2021. The group's major source of business was the domestic market. African Sun also says the same about their first 3 months of the year. Tourist arrivals at its facilities were up 93%, and most of them are locals. So that's lesson number one. We cannot just ignore local tourists. We need to make sure that our tourism product is not made just for foreign visitors. We needed to appeal to us here at home too. Lesson number two, we are competing with many other places around the world. Tourists have so many countries to choose from. We need to understand that we must create a unique product that we can sell, and creating a product that people want to buy goes down to one key thing: marketing. This is a concept that even combi drivers understand. They shout the loudest for customers. Even the ladies and Varamsika get this. You may have the juiciest tomatoes, but nobody's buying from you if they can't hear you. They need to be convinced that you have the best stuff. Are we marketing Zimbabwe enough? How is our country branding doing? We need to bring together our best marketing brains and talk about how best to rebrand our country and what our best selling points are. We do love Victoria Falls, but what more can we sell? Who are we selling ourselves to? The Victoria Falls Carnival shows us the potential that we have. First, the fact that tourism is not for old people only. Young people also want to travel and see new things. We need a new push to produce travel products that call out to young people. We're talking young people from here in Zimbabwe and those from outside our borders. Second, the carnival shows us the power of music and culture in tourism. No, we're not talking about getting South Americans to dance in the Harare CBD like we once did. We hope to never see that bright idea again. We're talking about music carnivals in some of our best cultural and tourism centers. We had the Chimanimani Arts Festival, Haifa, the Harare International Festival of the Arts, the Harare International Book Fair. Can you imagine a cultural festival in Matopos? These are opportunities for our private companies to come in and partner with local festival organizations to create events that will present the best of Zimbabwe. There are good signs in the tourism sector right now. companies are upgrading their facilities. New modern hotels are coming up in Victoria Falls. Major companies like Old Mutual are investing heavily in that area. Africa Sun is spending $10 million to modernize its hotels. More airlines are flying into Zimbabwe. There is Eurowings, which is the very first European airline to fly into Zimbabwe in many years. Qatar has recently launched flights to Zimbabwe. We even have more local flights now. Airlines like Kuva Air have launched flights connecting us to tourist sites like Kariba. Fastjet is now flying from Vic Falls to the Kruger National Park and recently doubled their flying times per day. There are flights to Maung in Botswana. What these airlines are doing is to connect Zimbabwe to other major tourist sites in our region. There is more work being done now to upgrade local airports. There is refurbishment of places such as Buffalo Range and Mutare Aerodrome. This is in addition to the work being done to modernize our main airport, Robert Mugabe International. All this is good news, but this is just the right foundation that we need. On this foundation, we need to build a new, modern tourism industry. Tourism supports many other key industries. Did you know in 2021, Zimbabwe exported $8 million worth of arts and crafts? That's according to Zimtrade, a low-hanging fruit for potential exporters and entrepreneurs. Don't forget those who sell arts and crafts to visitors. Think of the farmers that grow the food hotels prepare for guests, the logistical companies that transport it, construction companies that are building the roads and doing good business, building new facilities and upgrading old ones. They are some of the key industries that are supported by the tourism industry. We have much more to sell. This is what the government's economic blueprint says about tourism. The growth of the tourism sector will be anchored in increased investment in diversified tourism products such as heritage tourism, medical tourism, and community-based tourism, among others. Working together, tourism players and the government can put this into action. It is time we look beyond our traditional views of tourism. The world is changing, and our tourism sector must change too. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.